I'm going to read you this book about solids, liquids, and gases. Look around you. What do you see? Look at the book you're reading. Does it have a certain shape? What about the air you breathe? Can you feel it, smell it, or taste it? What about water from a drinking fountain? Can you see it and feel it? Does it have a certain size or shape? Your world is made of many objects and substances. Each has its own properties. These properties may include color, size, temperature, a certain shape, or being able to change shape easily. An object might feel rough or smooth, soft or hard, wet or dry. In this book, you'll learn about the objects and substances all around you. You will also learn about how these substances change. Matter. The things around you that take up space are known as matter. Your desk, the milk you drink, and the air inside a basketball are matter. They all take up space. A grain of sand is small, but a bit of matter. It takes up a small amount of space. The water in a swimming pool takes up a lot of space. Matter comes in three main forms. These forms are called the states of matter. Let's look at the picture of a fish tank. You can see the gravel at the bottom of the tank. You can also see fish and decorations. These things each have a specific shape. Their shape stays the same when moved from place to place. They also take up a certain amount of space. Each of these things is a type of matter called a solid. The water that the fish swims in does not keep the same shape when poured or spilled. For example, if the water in the tank were poured into a large round bowl, it would take the shape of the bowl. Water is a type of matter called a liquid. Liquids do not keep the same shape when moved from one container to another. They also cannot be squeezed into a smaller space. In this fish tank, an air pump brings air from the outside of the tank into the water. You can see the bubbles made by the air, but you can't see the air in a classroom. Air in the classroom and in the bubbles is in a state of matter called a gas. Like other gases, air is invisible. Gas takes up space, just as liquids and solids do. The air bubbles in the fish tank take up space. You can see a balloon getting bigger as more air is blown into it. But gases are also different from liquids. Unlike liquids, gases can be squeezed into smaller spaces. When you fill a balloon with air, the air pushes against the inside of the balloon and makes it harder. However, if you add too much air to a balloon, the balloon stretches until it pops. Things like tires need the right amount of air. If a tire doesn't have enough air, it will be flat. If it has too much air, it will explode. Look on the edge of a tire. A number tells you the amount of air to put into the tire. PSI is a measure of pounds per square inch, or air pressure. Changing matter. Matter can change from one state to another. Have you ever made your own popsicles by freezing a fruit drink in an ice cube tray? If you have, you've changed a liquid into a solid by lowering the temperature. When you eat a popsicle on a hot day, the popsicle melts and drips down your fingers. By taking heat away, you can change a liquid into a solid. By adding heat, you can change a solid back into a liquid. Have you ever spilled some water and forgotten to clean it up? When you look at where you spilled it, the water the next day, you can't see it. It changed into an invisible gas called water vapor. When water changes into a gas, it evaporates. The change of a liquid to a gas is called evaporation. Have you ever seen water form on the outside of a glass of ice water? Where did this water come from? The water on the outside formed when water vapor in the air touched the cold glass. The water vapor in the air cooled when it touched the cold glass. This cooling changed it into a liquid. When gases change it to a liquid, it condenses. The change is called condensation. Combining matter. It may seem easy to identify different states of matter. In many cases, this is true, but sometimes it's not easy. Let's think about lunch. Let's pretend that you are going to have a chicken soup, crackers, a cheese sandwich, and a glass of lemonade. You probably identified the crackers and cheese sandwich as solids, but what about the other foods? How would you describe the soup? The soup contains liquid, but it also has some solid pieces of chicken, vegetables, and noodles. Because the soup has two states of matter, it is called a mixture. Lemonade is just another kind of mixture. It's made of lemon juice, the liquid, water, liquid, and sugar, solid. Gases can also be mixed with liquids. Soda pop is a mixture of gases and liquids. The bubbles you see rise to the top of the soda pop are gases moving to the surface. Solids can be mixed with solids. Sand and sugar can be mixed. Gases can be mixed with gases. Air is a mix of 14 gases. You can separate the salt from a solution of salt water by letting the water evaporate. When all the water has evaporated, only the salt is left behind. It sticks to the glass. Everything that takes up space is made of matter. Common states of matter are solids, liquids, and gases. By changing the temperature, matter can change from one state to another. Water is matter that we see change states almost every day. It changes between solid, liquid, and gas. Where might you find all three states of matter on the same day? Here are some words from the glossary. The glossary tells us the definition of different words.